Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at the CURT Premium Hanging Style Bike Rack right here on our 2018 Mazda CX-9. So the CURT Premium is what I would consider the most family-friendly bike rack because of the way it's designed to carry a lot of bikes without having to spend a lot of money. We also have a unique tapered design here that helps out with those children's bikes where some of your other hanging racks don't. So we'll talk about those features and we'll talk about those specs, but we're gonna focus today on our Mazda CX-9. That way you can see what is the best fit for a bike rack for you, your different types of bikes, and your vehicle. So the first thing we'll take a look at is the way our bike is mounted here. So we have 1, 2, and 3 touch points. You also have the ability to rotate the cradles around just to adjust those touch points. The third one acts as our anti-sway. So we have it right over here. And when we take this strap out through the tabs, you can see how much more sway we have now. Very helpful, especially when you have more bikes on this bike rack. By the way, you can carry up to 5 bikes if you get the CURT Premium 5. What I have is the CURT Premium 4, but it works the exact same way. Anyways, we have these straps. You just pull them, get them out of the tabs. That's 1, 2, and here's our third strap. Once those are released, you can then get your bike and bring them through. And notice our tapered arms right over here. When you have those really small children's bikes with really small frames, you can see how convenient it is to have it where it's tapered like this, because then you're not wrangling them through the arms. Okay, I'm gonna leave our bike over here just to the side so that we can take a closer look at the bike rack itself. So we have those cradles, and I talked about how they rotate. Notice also how they have these little grooves in them for your brake lines. Then what I personally recommend is please put your straps away on your bike rack even when you're not carrying any bikes on them. That way they're not flopping around as you drive around. While we're up here, notice too the way our cradles are spaced apart. So you have your 2 adult cradles, and those are 5 inches apart center to center. Then you have a good distance away for your smaller cradles. And then the 5 bike version will have the 2 further apart and then 3 closer together. So these are also 5 inches apart. And once you have all 5 on there, you add a good amount of length. So let's talk about that. The length added to the back of our vehicle will be from the bumper to these nice plastic reflectors on the end, 37 inches for the 4 bike version. This also has a weight capacity of 185 pounds for the 4 bike version and 225 pounds for the 5 bike version. Awesome, because if you have a hanging rack, you'll know that they usually limit themselves to 35 pounds per bike. This is almost 45 pounds per bike, a little bit more than your average hanging rack. Notice also with this folded up like this, that it sits right where your windshield wiper is, so you'll still be able to get a good amount of view through your windows. All right, what if you need to back into your garage or park into a really tight spot, and that measurement I took was a bit too long? If you're not planning on taking your bikes out, you can actually lower these arms. So see over here, we have a clip. Just take that clip out, pull that pin out, drop this down, push that pin right back in, and then clip it into place to be a bit more secure. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. Now let's take some measurements to see the difference that makes. Closest point is going to be from our bumper to the lever, 3 inches of clearance there. About the same up here. The length now added to the back of our vehicle is going to be from the bumper to the end of the shank. It's going to be about 10.5 inches. So big difference compared to when the arms were up. We'll definitely want it in this position when you're just planning on driving around town and you don't want to take your bike rack off. Now, another feature this has is that it has a tilt-away feature for if you want to access your hatch while the bike rack is on. Remember, you have to take your bikes off to do this though, so it is going to take some time, and the process is a little involved, but I'll guide you through it. First, you need to loosen this knob, because this is securing your mast in the upright position. Once that's loosened just enough, you can pull this clip, and then you can pull this pin, and then the final step is this lever up here. Pull that lever, and then just let that drop down to a tilt. So as you can see here, the clearance between our door and our bike rack, plenty of clearance there, allowing us to get in, grab our bags, our helmets, our waters, without having to take the bike rack off. The downside is, it is going to take some time to take your bikes off, especially if you have 5 of them on there, but it's good to still have that option. If you want to be able to tilt your bike rack away with the bikes on, you may want to check out some of our more premium platform racks, like the CURT Transfer V2. That one allows you to tilt things away with the bikes on. Save yourself some time there. All right, let's pop this into place and tighten it down. That knob in the back is pretty important since it holds everything in place. Okay, let's talk about how this fits into our hitch receiver. So we have a 2-inch shank, so make sure you also have that 2-inch hitch receiver. This fits right in there. We have a clip at the end to secure our anti-rattle bolt. So that bolt uses a 3/4 inch socket. I use a socket and a wrench. We also have extras here at eTrailer if you want to keep one inside your vehicle to be used with this bike rack. Once that's tightened down, it creates an anti-rattle effect that secures the bike rack to the hitch receiver. Let's do a quick shake test to demonstrate how that works. So I'm going to shake it over here by the shank, and notice how I'm really just shaking the vehicle at this point. If you notice a little bit more movement, double check that knob in the back holding up the mast, but this makes for a smoother ride for your bikes overall. Very important when you have a hanging style bike rack. Now, what is it like living with a bike rack behind you? Well, for one, it does take some time to drop this down to access the hatch. It is nice to see, though, that we have full visibility through our rear windows. Obviously, our taillights are completely visible as well. One thing this does cover, or I guess 2 things this kind of covers, is going to be your license plate as well as your backup camera. The good news, though, your backup camera sits right between those arms, so you'll still see the bike rack behind you, but you'll also kind of be able to see the cars behind you. Now, there's nothing that cannot be avoided with a hanging style rack, so just something to keep in mind with this on. My personal thoughts about the CURT Premium Bike Rack is that if you're looking for an affordable bike rack that can carry a lot of bikes, this is what I would go with. If you're looking for more stability though, maybe check out the Hollywood Rack's Destination 4-Bike Platform Rack. That's a platform rack, so your bikes are going to be a lot more stable. If you're looking for a more premium option, but still a hanging rack, the Yakima Ridgeback would be a good option for you. You can also carry 5 bikes on there, but you have more premium features like the zip strips and locks. Hopefully this video helped you out with seeing what kind of features you like, what kind of features you don't need, the different pros and cons. That way you can see and pick the best fit for you, your different types of bikes, and your vehicle. But right here, right now, this was a look at the CURT Premium Hanging Style Bike Rack on our 2018 Mazda CX-9.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.